9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Sibley Park is our series this week on Community Clipboard, and we're talking again to the park superintendent, Helmut Brettschneider. And Helmut, you're going to talk to us about some new faces that you have out at the park. There's on the monitor or on the screen for people. It's an artist stream, and it's a beautiful place to go. It really is.
Indeed it is. We're very proud of it. The new faces, Rebecca, what we're talking about are, again, we have a Junior Ranger program. It's a group of 24 young ladies, age 17, that are
all ladies.
That are going to assist us in maintaining the park, and we're pretty pleased to be the sponsors of a Katimavik project.
Oh, right, yeah. That's a very new group that is getting a lot of publicity, and they're really doing a lot of good things in our country.
It certainly is, and it's a real boost for our dwindling numbers as far as our ability to maintain the park, and it's a rewarding experience for the young volunteers as well as for the park.
One of the things I'd ask, the Junior Rangers have a uniform, so if you were going out to the park, you would see them in uniform?
No, you would see them with an MR hard hat. And,
all right, so people would know that that's who they wear.
Yes, they would. Yes.
All right. But one of the things that you have there are some changes now with regarding services. You talk about cutbacks, budget cutbacks. What services are you providing?
We look at it as the efficiencies in our operation. We've had to install 2 self-serve stations where members of the public would register themselves to the park, one at Rita Lake and another one at the Sawyers Bay Trailhead for the interior camping. And we've also had to contract our grass cutting and our washroom sanitation, and as well as our firewood is now dispensed through a concessionaire agreement.
All right, so those things are being taken care of, at least.
Yes, they
are. One of the things, of course, you have a new improved beach area.
Yes, we did some improvements to the beach area. We've spread the sand around, and we have much more of a sandy beach and level beach. So it's quite...
Well, and of course, we've talked earlier to George Holborn, your park naturalist, about the new theater and about the new museum, or it's opened again. Anyway, that's really great.
Yes, and the response has been very favorable.
Right. What other plans do you have for the park? Future plans or studies that you plan to do out there?
Well, we have several studies and research programs underway. We have a vegetation management plan that is in a draft stage right now, and the Sibley tourism study, and both these projects, as well as a number of other studies, will be going public in August and early September. And the times and dates will be announced later.
Our guest today has been Helmut Brettschneider, the park superintendent at Sibley Park, and this whole week has been Sibley. Get out there and have a look at it and visit it. It's a beautiful place to go. Thanks very much, Helmut.
It's been my pleasure, Rebecca.
15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
One of the persons to greet you at Sibley Park will be Mandy Rocks if you're going out there to camp. And of course, Mandy, I don't know what your official title is. A gate operator, park administrator?
It would be a gate attendant.
Well, that sounds a little bit better then. One of the things that you would have at the park now are some new rates. Every year the provincial statutes come out and we have to have some new rates. What would they be for this year?
That's right. Well, for camping for one night, it's $6.50. If you're just going in for the day, it's $2.50. If you have an additional vehicle on the site, it's $3. And if you plan to do some interior camping, it's $2 per person.
So you just rhyme those off. You have them memorized and down pat. That's what it should be. So when somebody comes in, you can do that. One of the things that you've had at the park is a reservation system. Can you explain that?
Well, what you do is you can phone into the M&R office or to the park itself and make a reservation. Now, we don't reserve particular sites, but we can guarantee the camper that he will have a site if he comes in, say, on a long weekend when the chances are that the park will be full.
Now, that would just be the MNR office right at, say, at Mini Queens Park. Somebody wanted to do that?
Yeah, they could get the number of the parks from there.
And then they just give you a call. That's all right then. That program's been in effect for a few years now.
Yes, as far as I know.
Does it work? I mean, people really do it?
I think a lot of people are disappointed, though, because they feel that they are going to be guaranteed a lakeside site, but we don't do that. We just guarantee a site.
Well, I mean, you can only do so much. When you talk about when people come to the gate, you know, they're driving in, and you're as a gate attendant talking to them, what kind of information would you give them?
Well, I give them information about the park itself, what's available in the park. A lot of people want to know if we do have hydro, which we don't. They want to know about the trails, the wildlife.
All right, so that you would be able to have that. Do you have any brochures that you would hand out
Yes,
to
we
them?
do. We have brochures on our interpretive trails and about other parks and different tourist attractions in the area.
Right. Do they ask about the sleeping giant at all?
Oh, lots, yeah. They're very interested. A lot of them have misconceptions about it. They think they can drive to it, or that the whole park is actually the giant itself, but it's just the end of the peninsula and you hike into it.
All right, and so if you're coming to the park, they would see you, and you have another assistant with you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, our guest today on Community Clipboard, Mandy Rocks, the gate attendant at Sibley Park, and always there to greet you and give you information if you're coming into park or for camping or whatever. Thanks a lot, Mandy.
Thank you.
Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Sibley Park, and we're looking today to security and a park warden who is Mike Bird. And one of the things that you have to have in any park, whether it's provincial or not, is some kind of security. Mike, what do you do as a park warden for security?
As a park warden in parks, what we do is basically the law enforcement in provincial parks. Starting in 1976, they brought in park wardens in Ontario. We're responsible for a variety of other tasks, information to the public, pretty well anywhere we can be of assistance to the public.
One of the things that's really a bright light to me to go to Sibley Park is that there's really a reduced noise and people don't seem to run around. Has that improved over the years?
Yes, definitely. We have an emphasis now on a family-type atmosphere of camping. The noise level has been reduced greatly, and hopefully it will remain that way.
Well, that's because I know as a camper that's what one would really appreciate. One of the things I'd be interested in too is if I came up to you as a park warden that you are, a security person, would you have some general information that you would be able to give to us?
Yes, many of our park wardens have good knowledge of the park in general. They can help you out with the good spots to fish, spots to hike, a good place to spend an afternoon with the camera, any of that type of information we're more than willing to help with.
All right. What about patrolling? Do you go around in the daytime, night? How do you do that?
We try and patrol as much as we can throughout the 24-hour period of the day. Mostly in the major campground at Lake Mary Louise, but we do patrol the interior trails, some of the lakes. You're liable to see us anywhere in the park.
Interior trails, what do you mean by the interior?
The interior hiking trails, the Cabellon Trail along the western side of the peninsula, some of the interior nature trails, and those types of things.
All right. There's not a lot, I mean, we've said earlier in our program today that there's not really a lot of noise. Is there any kind of people stealing things and that when you're camping? Does that happen?
Very, very
Very
seldom.
yeah.
I think it's happened twice since I've been a park warden.
And that's been a few years now.
6 years now.
Okay, one of the other things too is when you're out there, do you participate in some of the activities yourself?
Most definitely. I like to participate in as many as possible.
All right, so you become part of the campers as well then?
Oh, very definitely.
Right.
That's how I became interested.
Yeah, that's all right then. One of the other things, of course, as I say, is to keep it this way and to keep the noise level down and to be a real family place to go to.
Yes, it's a place for everybody.
All right, then let's leave it at that. That's a good way to end our program today. Park Warden Mike Bird from Sibley Park, our guest today on Community Clipboard. Thanks, Mike, and we know the park is in good hands.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Sibley Park, and we're going to be talking today to the park naturalist George Holborn, and I have, you can see on your monitor or your television screen about a beautiful poster, but we also have in front of us, it's a botanical delight. George, tell us some of the things that you have out there. Orchids, they're gorgeous on here.
Yeah, right now the orchids are in full bloom, a lot of them.
Now at this time of the year?
Yes, yes. Well, they spread over the whole year, but there's quite a few beautiful ones that are in bloom right now. And a number of people from Thunder Bay and the area have been coming out and visiting and photographing the orchids because they're exceptionally beautiful.
So it's a real naturalist delight.
Oh, it really is, yeah.
One of the other things that we're going to switch quickly for the people and watching it is the fact that there's so much wildlife.
Mm-hmm.
And tell us what, besides the moose, which seems to be prevalent in northwestern Ontario, what other kinds of wildlife would you have at the park?
Well, we certainly have lots of deer, white-tailed deer, porcupines everywhere.
All right.
And there's a variety of other mammals as well as birds. Quite a few songbirds. The birding is very good in the park, and a lot of people come out to bird watch.
Okay, it's beautiful. The pictures on here are lovely. Well done. One of the things I want to talk to you about, you have a new museum.
Yes.
What's that? What have you done, or what is it all about?
It's the old museum completely renovated. We've redone all the displays inside and set the entire facility up. It's just opened on the long weekend on the Friday. It'll be open every day, Wednesday to Sunday, from 10 in the morning till noon and 1 to 4. And it has displays on plants and animals and insects and archaeology and human history in the park.
One of the things that really intrigues me is that you have sing-songs at night and have marshmallows and popcorn.
Yes.
Every night?
Every Friday night.
Friday night.
It's for all the people coming in the weekend, especially those that haven't visited the park before. They can come in and get to know us, get to know the relaxed atmosphere in Sibley, and it's sort of an introduction to the park.
And they can have a chance to meet each other.
Yes.
And also, you have a program for hiking. Can you explain a little bit about what you do for that, like children's hikes? And
Yes, there's a conducted children's hike every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, and we take the kids out, usually from around 4 to 12 years of age, take them out, get them down on their hands and knees and look at the small bugs and things down by the water, and we have a really good time.
All right. What about then there's other self-guiding hikes and things like that as well?
Quite a few self-guided nature trails in the park, and we have brochures that go with them, and people can take their own nature hike.
Okay, we'll end on that. Today, our guest on Community Clipboard, park naturalist from Sibley, George Holborn. Thanks very much, George. The pictures are beautiful.
Thank you.
Eight, 7, 6, 5.
It's more than camping. What's more than camping? We're going to tell you all about what's more than camping this week on Community Clipboard, and it's going to be about Sibley and the Wilmette Canyon Provincial Parks and all about that area, Sibley Peninsula. Guest today is the Park Superintendent, Helmut Bretschneider. And Helmut, first off, I think we did this last year, a series on Sibley, and it went over well from what I understand, so we're going to do it again with updated information. Where is Sibley, for people that don't know?
Sibley is approximately 40 kilometers east on 1117 from Thunder Bay, and approximately about another 35 kilometers south on Highway 587 to the main campground area.
Okay, now one of the things that we can look out, if you're, say, at Hillcrest Park or on top of Mount McKay, and look out and you see the Sleeping Giant. Now that really is the Sibley Peninsula.
Yes, in fact it is. Unlike a number of local people as well as visitors assume that the giant that they see in the background is in fact an island, and in actuality it is part of the plays part of the foot of the Sibley Peninsula.
I was just doing some reading about that, and it's 16 miles across the Lake Superior from
That's
the
correct.
harbor. So I don't know what that is in kilometers, but we shan't worry about that. What kind of facilities do you have out there at the park?
We have we cater facilities for camping, day use, quite an array of hiking, backpacking trails, nature trails. an excellent swimming beach, about 1,400 feet of excellent swimming beach. We're pretty proud of that. And an opportunity for people to view wildlife and nature studies and a wide variety of activities.
Now, the park, it's a provincial park. Now, when would it be open from and to?
The park is open officially from Victoria Day weekend, which was, well, for our weekend, it was May 18th to September 3rd. But that's when we issue permits and collect revenue. But the park is open 12 months of the year, and encourage the folks to visit the park, especially in the fall and the winter, and a lot of activities and exciting things to see and do.
All right, very quickly, what are the other parks that come under your jurisdiction?
Wilmette Canyon, which has over the past few years received a lot of development funding, and we've incorporated viewing platforms and rather extensive interpretive, self-interpretive guided nature trail.
Okay, we're going to have to conclude there today, Helmut, but we've got all week to talk about provincial parks
Okay.
and Sibley and all the rest of it, and some of the other parks in the area, of course, Kakabeka Falls, Middle Falls, and Edwood. Our guest today has been the Park Superintendent, Helmut Brittschneider.